The Foundation Nation, another weekly warehouse update. The guys are out, so Jason and I brought in some help to help us with the warehouse.
Excited to show you guys some of these discs that we got. Most of the time, these would only be able to be found on the Team Discraft website, but we were able to get our hands on these, so definitely something to check out. The first one I'm going to show you guys is the Venoms. These, we have a lot of them actually a little flat. And then there are a couple that are domey as well. These were a really good run of Venoms with AB's cool stamp on the top of it. Fun fact, I actually used this disc on hole 1 at Ledgestone across the water because I was terrified of losing any of my nukes. And it turned out to be like the perfect disc for me on that hole. So if you're looking for a nice distance driver, we got some AB Venoms on site for you. We also have the mini Get Freakies in the OG Get Freaky logo. We've got green, we have pink, blue, orange, yellow, and black as well. So those are all the same colors as the original runs of the Get Freaky zones. So if you're looking for a mini, check it out. And if you haven't thrown one of these XL minis before, you will be surprised. They actually fly really, really well. And it's fun to have a good little competition with your buddies at the local par 3 course. Bust out your XL Get Freaky minis, see who does the best. All right, next we're going to what used to be the Brody 3-pack. You used to only be able to get these with purchasing all 3 at once. We've actually been able to separate them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is we have 2 different types of colors. We have like more of a darker purple gray kind of, and then a gray. These are the Brody rubber blend roaches. Now these are not the normal Brody swirl roaches that we currently running right now. So if you like the rubber blend, this is how you get them. We don't make these anymore. So if you want this nice rubber blend of plastic and the roach, this is your best option getting these right now. We have a bunch of different stamps and foils for those as well. Then we have the Avenger SS. Shout out to Silver Sage, my buddy that bags like 7 of these things. A lot of different colors. These also came in some really cool kind of Halo-esque styles too with the plastic, but this is the ESP Avenger SS. I use this mainly as my roller, but I also have used it as a flip up forehand as well. Let me see if I can get one more color in here. Here's a cool one as well. So a lot of cool stamps and colorways with the Avenger SS. And the third one that comes in the pack, which we only have a handful of these left. We did a little live sale the other day and they sold really, really well. So only 6 of these left. These are the Brody ESP buzzes, and I'll kind of just show you the ones that we have. Blue, we have a purple, we have a little bit of a darker kind of clay color, and then we have a nice green. This is probably the sickest one that we have, again with that kind of Halo-esque vibe to it. And then last but not least, we have this guy. So those will probably go really quick. So if you're watching right now, I would probably go to the site and grab these before you end this video, because these probably might be gone already. And then last but not least, we have the scuba putter. This is one of my favorite discs that we've actually done at Discraft, mainly because I love the scuba. We did this in a soft plastic, so if you've never tried a roach out in a little bit of a soft plastic, give it a go. It's not crazy soft to where it's going to bend in half, but it does have a nice little more give to it than the normal Brody rubber blend does. These are bottom stamped, so in kind of tribute to the scuba, where I throw it upside down to see the stamp. These are bottom stamp scuba roaches, and we only have 6 of these too. So another disc that if you want, I would hop on the site real quick and pick one of these up as well. That's all we got over here in the Dark Horse La La Land. Let's show you some other stuff.
Well, it's good, Foundation Nation. We are talking about 2 discs, one of them old, one of them new, but both might feel new to you here. So we're going to start with the old guy. We have the Striker by Latitude 64. Now, most of you probably, if you're a COVID golfer especially, have not heard of this disc. Approved in the PDGA in 2008. So for some of you, like, honestly, this may be even before you were born. Yeah, if you're a child, great. So, but you don't have to be a child when it comes to this. 8502, definitely a stable guy. What I like about Trilogy Plastic is that this 7 to 8 speed slot, they have a lot of different options. And usually people are going to go to something like the Explorer. But what's nice about the Striker is I would say it has a pretty full, it's got some dome to it, but it's not domey. I really like the shape of this wing. I think if you are looking for a disc that's not super beefy, like in the Trilogy lineup, a Felon or a Pioneer, Striker could be a really good option. And the Opto Ice, it's going to have a good amount of stability. So if you don't have a really strong backhand, it's going to be pretty overstable for you. Let's call it what it is. But with the Explorer, some Explorers are kind of flippy. Some Explorers are super overstable. What's nice about the Striker is going to be very consistent. You're going to know what to expect out of it. And like I said, it feels really good for a forehand for me. I have big hands and it still feels comfortable. So I imagine if you had smaller hands, this might be a good alternative to something like a, let's say, distance driver instead of having to grab that big rim. So definitely check out the Striker. We have it in red, purple, and blue. The purple, I didn't want to show you first because, I mean, guys, it looks so good. Might be taking some of these myself, you know what I'm saying? But it is super beautiful. Another disc that I'm like, Side Guy's behind the camera right now, and I cannot describe how my mind was blown and you got to see this behind the camera. The Watt. Okay, like, what are we doing, MVP? This is such an insane disc. If you aren't understanding the hype behind the Watt, you're under a rock for sure. So there is a small bead on this. And at first I thought that was going to be like an issue. No, I actually feel like the bead gives it just enough stability that I can really give this one the beans. It flies so far and it is one of the glidiest putters I've ever thrown. If you're looking for a max weight glitch and you throw the glitch a lot, you love the glitch, the Watt is absolutely going to be your answer. I mean, it holds anhyzer extremely well. You put it on hyzer, it's going to hold that. It is so good. I know a lot of people who are hoping that this comes out in the Electron plastic because the moment that happens, people are loving the Watt so much, they're going to start putting with it as well. So definitely going to want to check this guy out. We have it in a bajillion colors. And for our disc dyers out there, I'm just saying, truly, what are you doing with all these white ones here? Like, we got to dye these, people. So Dye Academy, check it out. I know my disc dyers out there, and it's that neutron plastic. So it holds dye like a boss. So be a boss, grab a Watt, grab a Striker. Let's talk on the next disc.
Raptorius. All right, we're over here in Raptor land. We've got a couple different plastics for you guys to check out. We've got the titanium, which used to be my first beat-in Raptor that I ever have. I still have it. It's a silver titanium Raptor. Really, really nice as well. Then we have Big Z. I would say this is probably the least used of the plastics for me with the Raptor. Some people absolutely love it. So if you love the feel of the Big Z, check that out. Then we have the ESP Flex. Now, if you like the get freaky feel of that like flex in your hand when you're throwing forehands, then you definitely have to try out the ESP Flex Raptor. Has a lot of give to it. Then we have the standard, and I would say these are kind of the ones that I bag the most. These are the Z Raptors. I have always one, if not two of these in my bag, and we've got all sorts of different colors in that. So check out the Raptors on the site. Moving over to Vultures, we've got Big Z Vultures in a red, and then it looks like we have orange and green as well. And then we also have some nice Z Vultures as well. Both of these probably fly roughly about the same. So whether you like a little bit more of the waxy feel in the Big Z, or if you like the standard kind of stock Z, your choice. Pick them out. Both really, really good choices there. And we do have shoppers alert. Like, this is, again, shoppers alert. Like, if you see this disc and you want it, we only have one. So go, go, go. This is a limited edition Midnight Z Vulture. So if you want this bad boy, we have one left. Go, go, go. And we're going to end it on the Machete. The Machete. We've got a couple different colors here. We got pink, yellow, orange, and like a greenish. This is the Z Machete. Now, if you want something a little stiffer, a little more overstable than the Raptor, this is the perfect slot for me. I carry an ESP one and I carry a Z one as well. Sometimes these runs are stupid overstable. So if you're looking for that chop forehand flex through the woods, you got to check out the Z Machete. If you haven't, really great disc. One of my favorite discs to throw, and probably especially in open courses where I'm throwing a lot of hyzers and like kind of just having it get to the ground and sticking, a disc that I throw a lot. So that's what I got for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
All right. So have to talk about Wraiths if I'm here. Absolutely love the Wraith. Think it's a fantastic disc. We have a lot of really good Innova. The Wraith is one that I will always stand by. I think is a fantastic disc. We actually have Wraiths in a lot of plastics and a lot of weights. So it's a really cool option there of if you want to maybe grab a lighter weight Wraith, if you don't have the arm speed or something like that. But what I love about having so many plastic type options is we have Star Wraiths and we even have Champion Wraiths. So with that new Innova designed like sort of stamp, looks super clean, fantastic. But we have these two that are really good options for just an easy distance driver. This one's 168 grams. Personally, when I'm throwing my Wraiths, I love Wraiths in that like 165 to 170 flight, especially Star Plastic. I stand by that in all the plastics that are out there in the world, a nice beat-in Star Plastic disc is one of the toughest things to like beat in terms of comfortability in the hand, consistency in flight, things like that. So this is super cool for that flip up flight. I love Wraiths on a forehand, beautiful flyer on forehand. They fly really great on a backhand, but that 165 to 170 gram is the sweet spot for these guys. Gives you consistent flip up flight, and you can even, if you beat them in enough, I have one in my bag that's really beat in, and the Star Plastic is a roller option. So Wraiths, super fun there. But another thing that's super beautiful, that if you're newer or you haven't really dabbled with Innova, they've been doing this for a long time, and that's the bottom stamp. They love bottom stamp drivers, which we talked about it with the Watts, but this beautiful blank canvas up top. When I first got into dyeing, I had a orange bottom stamped Star Wraith, and I dyed Harambe on the front of it and did a little RIP Harambe deal, you know, got to support my boy. But it is super fun if you want to try stencil dyeing, anything like that. And it's a big driver, so you're gonna have a lot of distance and you have a lot of surface to work with. So definitely check out the Wraith as a great option. And we have a significant amount of bottom stamped ones left, so you're gonna want to check that out. We've talked about the Wild, we talked about the inner core, we talked about the Dune. So the thing about the Dune is if you don't have a ton of arm speed, it's going to be a pretty straight flyer for you, even have some overstability, especially if you're up at elevation where Jesse is. But a disc that I don't understand why more people don't throw this. I watched a guy who is 10-10 rated. He bags a soul. And you're like, whoa, man, the guy's huge. He's so good at throwing frisbees. Why's he bag a soul? Well, he feels it there first. But the beautiful part about this is this disc is going to turn over. It's going to give you that consistent turnover flight. So if you don't have a good forehand, you're working on the forehand, soul is a great option that you can just really grip and rip, and it's going to stand up and it's going to carry for a right-handed player. It's going to carry to the right. You don't have a ton of arm speed, you're newer, or what I love to do is I'll keep a soul or two around so that if I meet a new player, I can just grab it and hand it to them directly. They're going to be able to get consistent flight out of this. It's going to stand up for them pretty easily. If you're trying to learn a hyzer flip, soul is a great option because if you're throwing it on too much anhyzer, it's going to burn, like it's going to go over like that, right? It's going to flip over. But if you can learn to put that touch on it and not just absolutely juice it, it's going to have easy stand-up flight. The other beautiful part about the soles here is that we have, what is this, like 7 maybe, 6 or 7 ESP soles, but we have a lot of the Z soles. And you can't tell me that this purple sole just doesn't make your heart happy. It looks so beautiful, so clean. And another beautiful part about this is it's not that deep of a disc. So if you have smaller hands, especially for our ladies out there that maybe don't have like the long, lanky, these hands are the worst. Trust me, they don't help that much. So if you have smaller hands, this is a great option to throw. Love the Soul a lot for our short kings and queens out there. Check out the Soul. So we've made ourselves known on In the Bag. There are 2 discs that we talk about all the time. We are absolute, I think you can say simp, right? Like that's not a, yeah, we're Innova. Like, you know, Hunter and Trevor, Hunter and Connor more so, Innova simps. We're Simpson In the Bag for the Jackalope and the Uplink. We talk about it all the time. We love that disc. But the Freetail by Mint Discs, super underrated. Now the Wraith, this is, if you don't have the arm to get a fun flight out of the Wraith, the Freetail could be exactly for you. This is such a good disc. Comes in this beautiful sublime plastic, which is nice and swirly. It's going to have, I mean, these color combos are super, super cool. Has this special bat stamp on it. Definitely going to want to check that out. Really great understable flyer. But because it's a faster disc, it's not going to be, for most arms, it's not going to be one that's just going to burn over into the ground. So if you generally love to run away from understable stuff, what's nice is going with a faster disc actually allows you to, let's say, throw the more understable stuff because you may not get it up to speed. So it's not going to get the full flight characteristics out of that. So really great option. And if you do have the arm speed, great roller that looks fantastic, super beautiful, and it's still usable in other forms as well. If you're looking for that easy forehand, I know Brad, for instance, will use something like a Freetail that he could throw on light forehands and it'll stand up all the way rather than having to grab like a Castoplast Rask, which we do have in stock. Check those out. 3 of them. Weirdest feeling disc you'll ever try. Definitely check it out. So the Rask is someone super overstable. You got to like yam on it to get it in under like a super flex. You're not working to get any distance with a Freetail. It's just free distance.
So I won't say they saved the best for last, but definitely the most biased for last. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jesse from Trash Panda. I own a company that makes disc and disc golf products out of recycled plastic. So I'm here to talk about those. First up, Foundation has our newest disc, the Dune, which is a super straight flying mid-range. I used it yesterday at New London and it was absolutely perfect through the trees, everything like that. I'm loving this disc. I'm a huge, huge fan. Additionally, we have the Inner Core, which was our first disc. It's a putter, also known as the Discraft Raptor, if you catch that. This thing is, well, Robbie talked about the Watt. It's quite similar in terms of flight. Super neutral, dead straight. If you're a beginner, it'll be super forgiving as you learn how to throw a backhand. If you're more advanced, it'll teach you how to at least get some finesse on that. And what I especially love about both of these discs is that as soon as you release it, there's immediate feedback as far as what's happening with whether you released on a little bit of Anheuser, Heiser, whatever. So these discs have taught me to be a better player, which is awesome. We also have just a few left on the baseline Inner Core. So if you'd like to try it as a putter, it's great. And then one of the things we love is obviously we're using 100% recycled plastic in our discs. But then what happens with our discs that come out with manufacturing blemishes or defects? Or even earlier this year, we launched this disc recycling program, which is where we get into minis. We have minis made from recycled discs. As you can see, if these look similar, it's because they are. This is made out of Inner Core manufacturing defects. And then these, fun fact, are made out of scraps from Flight Towel. So these are made from literally like 10 to 20 different discs on the market, manufacturers, etc., which is super cool. A blend up of all of those. These are gorgeous. I'm a huge fan. And then we are working on a fairway right now, but because we don't have our fairway quite yet, I'll take you over here and I can at least show you what I'm bagging right now, and that is the Recycled Explorer. Fun fact, I've had the hardest time finding these. And this morning, Brad was like, yeah, we have recycled explorers. So I was like, I'm definitely going to give these a shout out. These aren't the easiest to find, but these are beautiful discs. And I love them as far as recycled from another company. I think Latitude crushed it with this one. So there we go. Additionally, I should mention that earlier this year, we partnered up with Disc Dot, and we now officially are the manufacturer for all Disc Dots, which means Disc Dot is now made from recycled discs. Again, if you look at these and they look like the inner core, that's because they came from inner core manufacturing defects. And then you can see different things like these are from Dune defects. We've got different discs on the market blended up, which is why you can see that you've got slightly different colors. And I'm not seeing any red in here. I like to call it the Robbie C colorway, but it's not present.
So to wrap things up for this video, we want to talk about, normally we'll talk about accessories here, but here's an accessory that you need, more Frisbees. The Foundation subscription box is a awesome thing for a very understandable fee. You're going to get at least 3 premium Frisbees, a swag item, some other stuff. Mystery box is coming out this past month. Our mystery box value was over $80 in the box alone. So it was a Trash Panda subscription box. Super cool. Like, I mean, we loaded this thing out. So I want to give you guys a teaser. You can see like, why am I just holding this to my chest? Give you a little teaser. We got a super spooky box coming to you next week or next month. It is next week because you're watching this today on Friday, and on Sunday, mystery box subscriptions are opening back up. So definitely check that out. This super spooky box. And trust me, guys, I'm a sissy when it comes to scare. I went to Halloween Horror Nights and Universal. That might be one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I haven't slept well since because, I mean, all these people just jumping out. It was awful. What's not awful is this box. It's going to have so many fun little surprises and stamps inside of it. And really just, you're going to want to check it out. And I mean, it's October. So, you know, Halloween's in it. There may or may not be some sweet treats, if you know what I'm saying. So definitely check it out. Check out any of the sweet treats we have here at the warehouse. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And hey, make it fantastic for someone else too. We'll see you in the next one.